Let's start from the camera angle at first seen. In the first ever scene in which Tanjiro was carrying the fainted Nezuko on his back, when the camera was following Tanjiro's footprints in snow, the camera also was shown as shaking exactly like Tanjiro's movements. It's not actually Tanjiro's point of view, it's actually we are following the Tanjiro's footprints. The reason that camera was also shaking is to make us realize how much heavy Tanjiro is enduring both physically and mentally. After he's seen his family's brutal murder in his own home, Tanjiro was destroyed into pieces inside. And Nezuko was too heavy to lift in that snow which has low oxygen atmosphere. It's an awesome detail to show Tanjiro's unbearable situation with camera movements. Next detail is blood scent. After leaving the old man Saburo's home, when Tanjiro was walking to his home, he could recognize the scent of blood very strongly even in a long distance from his home. This is probably because of the help that he did in the village on the day before. A man was false accused of breaking an antique piece in a shop, and he asked Tanjiro to help him by sniffing the criminal out with Tanjiro's sense of smell, remember? At that moment we can see, that man was also bleeding. So when Tanjiro was sniffing that antique piece, he also happened to pick up the scent of the blood from him. And then he have memorized the smell with a danger indicator, and that's how he could smell the blood scent coming from his home very quickly. His sense of smell is very strong and perceptive, he could pick Muzan's scent even among his family members' corpses, and he could memorize it for a long time. Next one is a scene sequence error. Remember that badass entry? When Tomioka saw Nezuko, when Nezuko just came into his field of vision, he swings his katana with all his might without wasting even a second. That force actually created a strong snowstorm too, but with a sequence error. In this scene, he already threw his katana which even cut Tanjiro's hair, but in the next scene we can see, he is still in the air and then only he threw his katana. A small sequence error which can be seen only in slow motion. But since it's anime, maybe to increase the intense in the situation, animators would have done this scene in two different angles. There is another one too. Tanjiro threw a stone to attack Tomioka, and also had another stone for further attack, but there is no scene with stones around him before that scene. There is only one scene his hands made contact with the snow, it was when he was bowing his to Tomioka to leave Nezuko. If we assume that he picked those stones from snow while he was begging with his head down, that's a no. Since his hands were empty on the following scene, and he was genuinely bowing his head to save Nezuko. So he didn't pick anything from snow at that time. So, he had stones totally out of blue in this scene. But it's anime, so we can't expect much more, and anything is possible. Next one is, a mark is left on the tree. When Tomioka evaded the stone that Tanjiro threw, it hit on the tree which left a mark on that tree bark. Which says, Tanjiro threw that stone very hard as much as he can, even though he did it just to divert the Tomioka's attention. And it also insists, Tanjiro has a strong hand power to make mark in the tree bark even from that distance. It can be seen only in this scene at this angle. It is a nice continuity animators handled. Also, in last scene of the episode, they would have shown Tanjiro's hand in a close-up shot. His hand is full of scars, and is very hard and sturdy. Those scars are not actually from the fight with Tomioka or the struggle with Nezuko, it's the exact result of his work he has been doing to make charcoals. So Tanjiro already had a strong hand power from his work even before his Demon Slayer training, and that was indicated by the mark on the tree. It's a nice detail animators gave in a minute level. Next one is a geometrical detail. Tomioka evades the stone at his left, and the axe at his right. So, when Tanjiro throws the stone, he was in a straight line to Tomioka. So the stone which Tanjiro threw, went straight to his head which Tomioka evaded it in his left. But when Tanjiro once moved to another step which is exactly when he threw the axe, his path becomes a little bit inclined to the point where Tomioka stands. So the axe which he threw, went a little bit left to stone which he already threw. It's a nice geometrical detail animators handled. But imagine, if Tomioka went for his right to evade the stone instead of his left, the axe wouldn't even go for Tomioka's head. Tomioka wouldn't have to evade it, after all it will hit just on the tree bark, since Tomioka is not in the target. I mean, Tomioka would still be amazed at Tanjiro's skill, but it wouldn't make that much surprise as it made in the original. Next detail is, Tomioka didn't ask Tanjiro's name. Throughout Tomioka's whole screen time in first episode, he never did ask Tanjiro's name at least for once. He actually gave his name as a reference to approach Urokodaki, but he didn't ask for Tanjiro's name at no place. Tomioka didn't know Tanjiro's name until 21st episode, in which, the messenger Crow informed every Demon Slayer to find and take Tanjiro and Nezuko to the headquarters, after Rui was killed. That's the first time, and that's how Tomioka actually came to know Tanjiro's name. And, to be more clear, after that first episode incident, he even forgot Tanjiro's face too. Tomioka couldn't realize Tanjiro even after having a chat with him in 21st episode, only after looking at Nezuko's face. Dude remembers every incident with Tanjiro from the first episode. You know why? In first episode, Tanjiro was too pathetic and weak even to be asked his name and Tomioka's point of view. That's why he even forgot his face. And also here we can see Akaza's shade in Tomioka. Akaza doesn't give a fuck to the weaklings. And another reason, Tomioka is a Giga Chad. The Giga Chad doesn't ask names, he gives his name. Tomioka is built different. Next one, Tomioka was actually inspiring. So when Tomioka tried to cut Nezuko, Tanjiro saved her by swapping places with her. Throughout the Tomioka's whole Demon's Lair experience, this would be the first ever time to see that a human gives his head to save a demon. But, being too much kind, will get you killed in that demon's lurking world. That's what he learnt from his Demon Slayer path. So, every single word Tomioka spoke to Tanjiro is to inspire him to value his own life and get stronger. Tanjiro might have realized every single words of Tomioka from this scene when he met Akaza. Akaza wouldn't give a fuck to the weaklings. That's what Tomioka is saying as an advice to Tanjiro. Not every Hashira treated Tanjiro in the same way when they happened to see Tanjiro as protecting his demon sister. Next one is, Gyuu was still ready to unsheath his katana at any time. When he realized the Nezuko's innocent side, and she tries to her brother out of love, he did think to trust her, but the more he brought himself to trust Nezuko, the more he wanted to kill her also. We can see his dilemma at the moment when he puts back his katana in sheath. Usually when swordsmen put back the katana, they press their thumb on the sword hilt to ensure that katana doesn't unsheath itself. But Tomioka is keeping his thumb under the sword hilt. This stance is actually indicating that the swordsman is about to unsheath his katana. He didn't completely sheath his katana. The animators gave this detail in a close-up shot. So with this we can say, Tomioka still had a dilemma whether to trust Nezuko or not. After all, he once placed his trust on another siblings with the same case, which became a big mistake. So he took his time in knocking her out to reconsider his decision in this situation, but he had no other choice rather than knocking her out anyway. But after that, he completely placed his trust on them. We can see that in the next scene, Tomioka gave her a cloth to avoid cold, and he also wiped all the blood in her face. I mean, this is how Tomioka shows his trust. And if you notice, the cloth which Tomioka used, actually belongs Nezuko. That's the exact cloth which Tanjiro used, to hold Nezuko on his back while carrying her to the village. When both Tanjiro and Nezuko fell off the cliff, and Nezuko is fully demonized, the cloth fell off from her. After that we could see that cloth only in one scene. That's when Nezuko tried to devour Tanjiro. That's the cloth Tomioka used. It's totally surprising how it ended up in Tomioka's hands. Maybe, he could see that on his way to kill Nezuko. After all, that's the same direction Tomioka arrived to. Tomioka jumped directly from behind Nezuko, and the cloth was also behind Nezuko. That's how he could have noticed it. Nice observation, right? So guys, that's all I noticed from the first episode. If this video gets 100 likes, I will break down the second episode. Until then.